Hi, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Last week I talked about masking off your stamps. And if you missed that video, there'll be a link below that you can go back and check that one out. But what we did is we actually used masking tape or washi tape, and we actually laid it over stamps and masked them as we stamped. This week I'm going to talk about masking off something you've already stamped on a project. So you're going to need some scissors, you're going to need some ink, you're going to need Versamark ink, you're going to need a dryer sheet because we're going to do some embossing today, and that's why you need the Versamark also. And I like this Goodbye Static. It's a powder that helps pull the static off your paper so that when you're stamping and embossing, the powder doesn't go everywhere. It just goes where your Versamark is. And then you'll need your stamps of choice. Today I'm going to be using this Full of Thanks. Full of Thanks is from a retired stamp set from close to my heart. It was from the Pathfinding Card Making Workshop. And this is what that set looks like. It's a great set. I love this Full of Thanks, especially on there. So that's why I'm using it today. And I'm using this. This is available from close to my heart. It is Season of Thanks. It is D1604. And they have this fun sort of poster, subway sort of look. And then the trees or the bamboo stripe look. And then the stamp I'm going to be using today has little leaves and flowers and acorns. So what I'm going to start out with is I'm starting out with this new color from close to my heart. It's called Pomegranate. Beautiful, beautiful color. I'm going to stamp down right in the middle of this piece. It is, I believe it is champagne cardstock. I like that color. I especially like the champagne cardstock for skin tones when I'm cutting on my Cricut. All right, I like that impression. I'm going to come back while I still have ink on my block here. I'm going to do a second generation stamp on a piece of scrap paper. It doesn't matter how dark it is. Like I said, it's second generation. I don't need to waste any more ink on that. To cut, and I'm not actually going to take the time to cut it for you. I'll just show you that I did cut. Okay, so we'll set this aside. Now we're going to take the dryer sheet and rub over. As you can see, the ink dries pretty quickly, so I can rub over that. Takes any static off. Now I'm going to come in with my Goodbye Static and rub over my piece of cardstock. Again, it just helps to keep the embossing powder where we want it. All right, now this piece that I have cut, I'm going to just lay right on top. Now, lots of people like to cut on like Post-it notes, and there is a special paper out there that is sticky like a Post-it note all over, so that when you lay it down, it will stay there. I don't have any, so I'm just going to be really careful and make sure it stays right there. Now that's when I pull in my Versamark, and I just pull it in and go over the stamp. You want to be generous because you want your powder to stick, and if the ink isn't there, there's nothing to stick to. I'm going to lay this right over the center of this image because I know I can trim either side. Go right down on top. Underneath this pad of paper, I have a Versa Matte, and it has cushion to it, so it helps when I'm stamping. Now this is going to pick up the paper, and that's okay. See, because I only need to make one stamp on there. Now it's when I pull in the surprise. Gold is so big this season, this fall. So I'm pulling in this Princess Gold by Ranger. And Close to My Heart is carrying that, so you can find that Close to My Heart. All I do now is I just lay this, sprinkle it onto my card. And the magic happens. And there it is. Now, I set my embossing powder aside. Princess Gold. I give my heat gun a chance to heat up. It heats up pretty quickly. And I heat up that gold powder. You want to move your heat gun around over the powder. One of the best descriptions I ever heard was, and I forget who said it, but I was watching a video and the lady said, you know, you don't want to shake your gun back and forth. I see a lot of people do that. It's more like you just want to chase it. So as you see it emboss, you just chase that around to the part that isn't embossed yet. And boy, is this pretty. One little spot down here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but it really is beautiful. So what we did is we masked off this part right here, and then we were able to go over it and put this beautiful stamped embossing for the side of my card. I will go in with a paper trimmer and just trim down this side, I think. This is another masking technique. I used this on a card I did last week. This particular stamp set is called Dreamer. It is also from Close to My Heart. I started by stamping this girl in black ink. Just stamped her down. Then I used the second generation and stamped and cut that stamp. I took the girl then, laid her down on the card, like so, and then brought in my heart and some ruby red ink and stamped right over those, right over this mask. When you pick it up, it makes your stamp look like it is behind the stamp that you stamped first. The most important thing to remember is that the image you want in the foreground, the image you want on top, needs to be the first image you stamp. Then you mask that to put in what you want in the back. That's the most important thing to remember. Hey, thanks for joining me today. It's always fun to share something new I've learned. I hope you picked up a tip or two. If you'd like to see what I did with this piece that I embossed, you certainly can go off to my blog, scrappyhorses.blogspot.com, and take a look at the project there. Have a great day, and join me again next Tuesday for another Tuesday tutorial. Bye.